She almost walked past him. One more step, and her life would have stayed exactly the same. But she didn't. And what happened next, no one, not even her, could have imagined. The morning air was cold, sharper than usual. People rushed past in thick coats, coffee cups in hand, eyes glued to their phones. Emma Carter pulled her jacket tighter as she stepped out of the small cafe where she worked double shifts just to keep up with rent. Her bank account had exactly $12.47. That was all she had until next week. She checked her phone again, hoping somehow the number would change. It didn't. She sighed, slipping the phone into her pocket, already calculating which meals she could skip. That's when she saw him. Sitting against a brick wall near the bus stop, a man wrapped in a worn-out army jacket, his beard thick and unkempt, his boots barely holding together. A small cardboard sign rested beside him. Veteran. Anything helps. God bless. Most people didn't even glance in his direction. But Emma did. Their eyes met for just a second. And in that second, something shifted. Not pity. Not guilt. Something deeper. She slowed down. Then stopped. Her fingers brushed against the crumpled bills in her pocket. $12. That was groceries. That was bus fare. That was survival. Keep walking, her mind whispered. You can't afford this. But her heart wasn't listening. She looked back at him. He wasn't asking anyone directly. Just sitting there quietly, as if he had already accepted being invisible. That hit her harder than anything. Invisible. No one deserves to feel like that. Emma turned around. Her footsteps felt heavier now, like each step carried weight. The man looked up as she approached, surprised, almost cautious. She knelt slightly, pulling the money from her pocket. For a moment, she hesitated. This was everything she had. Then she placed all of it into his trembling hands. Not a dollar. Not some change. Everything. I'm sorry, it's not much, she said softly. The man stared at the money like it didn't belong to him. Then he looked up at her, eyes glassy, voice barely steady. Miss, this is too much. Emma shook her head. No, I think you need it more than I do. There was a long pause. The world around them kept moving, cars passing, people rushing, but for a moment, everything felt still. What's your name? He asked. Emma. He nodded slowly. I'm Daniel. He held the money close, like it might disappear. You didn't just help me, he said quietly. You reminded me, I still matter. Those words hit her harder than she expected. She forced a small smile. You do. Emma stood up quickly, almost before the moment could become too heavy. Take care of yourself, okay? Daniel nodded. I won't forget this. She gave a small wave and turned away, walking faster than before. Her chest felt tight. Not regret. Not exactly fear. Just uncertainty. She had no idea how she was going to get through the week now. That night, reality hit. Emma sat in her tiny apartment, staring at an almost empty fridge. A bottle of water. Half a loaf of bread. And nothing else. Her stomach growled. She laughed softly, shaking her head. Well, that was smart. She leaned back against the wall. But then she remembered his face. The way his hands shook. The way his voice cracked when he said, I still matter. And suddenly, it didn't feel like a mistake. Across the city, Daniel sat under a dim streetlight. But he wasn't in the same spot anymore. He had used part of the money to get a hot meal. A real one. The first in days. And the rest? He held onto it carefully, like it was more than just money. Because to him, it was. It was proof. Proof that someone still saw him. Still believed he was worth something. He looked up at the sky, whispering something under his breath. A promise. Back in her apartment, Emma finally drifted to sleep. Hungry. Exhausted. Uncertain about tomorrow. But somewhere deep inside, There was a quiet feeling she couldn't explain. Like something had shifted. Like that small decision was only the beginning. Emma woke up to the sound of her alarm and an empty stomach. For a moment, she just lay there, staring at the ceiling. Then reality rushed back in. No money. No food. No plan. She sat up slowly, pressing her hands against her face. Okay, figure it out, she whispered to herself. She checked her phone again, still nothing. Her next paycheck was days away. And today, she had to get through a full shift. The walk felt longer than usual. Every cafe she passed, every food stand, every smell, it all made her more aware of what she didn't have. Her stomach tightened. She tried to ignore it. As she approached the bus stop, her eyes instinctively drifted to the same corner. The same brick wall. But he wasn't there. Daniel was gone. Emma slowed down, scanning the area. Nothing. Just the same rushing crowd. For some reason, that bothered her more than she expected. Maybe I was stupid. The thought slipped in quietly. She kept walking, but it stayed with her. What if he had taken the money and disappeared? What if it didn't actually help? What if it didn't matter at all? She shook her head. No, it mattered. But now, she wasn't as sure. The cafe was packed. Orders piling up. Customers impatient. Emma moved on autopilot, taking orders, making drinks, forcing smiles. But her energy was low. Halfway through her shift, her coworker Jake noticed. You okay? He asked quietly. Emma nodded quickly. Yeah, just tired. Jake raised an eyebrow but didn't push. Make sure you eat something, okay? She gave a small nod. But she didn't tell him the truth. There was nothing to eat. During her short break, Emma sat alone in the back room. Someone had left half a sandwich on the table. She stared at it for a moment. Her stomach growled again. Then she looked away. No, it's not mine. She took a sip of water instead, trying to quiet the hunger. But her mind drifted back. Back to Daniel. Where did he go? Was he okay? Across town, everything was different. Daniel stood in front of a small building, hesitating. It wasn't much. Just a modest Veterans Assistance Center. A place he had walked past dozens of times. But never entered. Until now. He looked down at the money Emma had given him. It wasn't just cash. It was courage. He took a deep breath. And stepped inside. Inside, the air felt warm. Safe. A woman behind the desk looked up and smiled. Can I help you? Daniel swallowed, his voice rough. I think I need help. It was the first time he had said those words out loud. And somehow, that changed everything. Back at the cafe, Emma's shift finally ended. She felt dizzy. Weak. The walk home felt heavier than ever. By the time she reached her apartment, she dropped her bag and sank onto the floor. Tears filled her eyes. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just quiet. Exhaustion. Doubt. Fear. Maybe I made the wrong choice, she whispered. Then. Knock. Emma froze. She wasn't expecting anyone. Another knock. Slow. Firm. She stood up cautiously, wiping her face as she walked to the door. Her heart started racing. Who could it be? She reached for the handle. Paused. And opened the door. Standing there was a man in clean clothes. Shaved. Standing straighter than before. For a split second, she didn't recognize him. Then he smiled. Hi, Emma. Her eyes widened. Daniel? It was him. But not the same man she had met. Not even close. I don't understand, she said, barely finding her voice. Daniel nodded. I know, it's a lot. He held something in his hand. An envelope. I needed to see you again, he said. Because what you did, it didn't just help me survive. He took a step closer. It changed everything. Emma's heart pounded. What do you mean? Daniel took a slow breath. That money you gave me, it gave me the push I needed. I went somewhere I've been avoiding for years. He paused, emotion rising in his voice. I asked for help. Emma stared at him, trying to process it all. And that was just the beginning. Daniel looked down at the envelope in his hand, then back at her. There's more you need to know, he said quietly. Something I haven't told anyone yet. Emma felt her chest tighten again. What is it? Daniel hesitated. Then slowly extended the envelope toward her. Before you open this, just know. He met her eyes. You didn't just change my life. A pause. You might have just changed your own too. Emma stared at the envelope in Daniel's hand. Her fingers trembled slightly as she reached for it. What is this? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel didn't answer immediately. Just open it, he said gently. The hallway felt suddenly too quiet. Too still. Emma slid her finger under the flap, and opened it. Inside was a check. Emma blinked, then blinked again. Her breath caught. Wait, what? The number didn't make sense. It was more money than she had seen in her entire life. Her hands started shaking. Daniel, this has to be a mistake. Daniel shook his head slowly. It's not a mistake. He took a deep breath. I wasn't always like you saw me. Emma looked up, still stunned. I served for years, he continued. After I came back, things fell apart. I lost everything, my family, my home, myself. His voice grew heavier. I pushed everyone away, even the people who tried to help me. He paused. But before all that, I built something. Emma frowned slightly. What do you mean? I started a company, Daniel said. Emma's eyes widened. A small one at first. It grew faster than I ever expected. I had partners, investments, a future. He let out a quiet breath. But when my life collapsed, I walked away from it all. Emma was speechless. All these years, he continued, I never went back. Never checked. I thought it was all gone. He looked at her, emotion in his eyes. Until yesterday. That moment, when you gave me everything you had. Daniel's voice softened. It broke something in me. Or maybe, it fixed something. I realized, if a stranger could believe I still mattered, then maybe I should too. Emma felt tears forming in her eyes. So I went back, he said. I contacted someone from my past. Someone who used to be my business partner. He smiled faintly. And what I found, I never expected. The company didn't fail, Daniel said. It grew. Emma's eyes widened again. What? They thought I was gone for good. But my name, my share, it was still there. He let the words settle. That check is just a fraction of what it's worth now. Emma covered her mouth in shock. This isn't real? Daniel shook his head. It is. He gently pushed the envelope closer to her. And it belongs to you as much as it does to me. Emma stepped back slightly. No, I can't take this. Yes, you can, Daniel said firmly, but kindly. You didn't give me money that day. You gave me my life back. Tears rolled down Emma's cheeks now. I was just trying to help. And you did, Daniel replied. More than you know. He paused. I've already set things in motion. Housing, support for other veterans. I'm not going back to who I was. He smiled softly. And I'm not doing it alone. Emma looked at him, overwhelmed. What are you saying? I'm asking you to be part of it, Daniel said. To help me build something that actually matters. Emma let out a shaky breath. Me? Yes, you. The same person who gave her last $12, without expecting anything back. That's the kind of person this world needs more of. Emma looked down at the check again. Then back at Daniel. Just yesterday, she had nothing. No food. No certainty. And now, everything had changed. Not just her situation, but her purpose. She wiped her tears, taking a deep breath. Okay, she said softly. Daniel smiled. Okay? She nodded. Okay. For the first time in a long time, she felt something stronger than fear. Hope. Months passed. The small idea became something real. A foundation. A place where veterans could find support, housing, and a second chance. Emma stood at the entrance of a new building, watching as people walked in, people who, just like Daniel once was, had nowhere else to go. Daniel stepped beside her. You started this, he said quietly. Emma shook her head. No, we did. The world kept moving. Just like it always does. But sometimes, all it takes is one moment. One choice. One act of kindness. To change everything. Emma almost walked past him. But she didn't. And because of that, 2 lives were changed forever. So next time you see someone the world has forgotten, remember this story. Because you never know. The life you change might be your own.